Okay, I decided that it is time for a story, and I wanted to give you the background of the reason why I dedicated my book to this woman that you're seeing in front of you, this older picture here. This is a picture of my great-great-grandmother. If you look at this picture, I'm sure you're probably aware that she is not Caucasian. She is, in fact, African American. And so what's really interesting about this is that I don't even know her first name. I do know that she's quite the hero. I do know the background story behind her, and it's a story that I think is really, really interesting and important for us to understand in regards to social psychology and the things that happen regarding culture and grouping, stereotyping, and prejudice. So when you look at her, you see that she is of color. She was married to my great-great-grandfather, who was white. They had two daughters, and they traveled across the United States, and they ended up at, I think it was a train station somewhere in northern Wyoming. While at that train station, my great-great-grandfather said, "I'll be right back," and took off for the gold country in Alaska, leaving his two daughters and his wife at the train station. So being a woman of color, a couple things come to mind in regards to that. One, how did the two at that time get together? Is this a product of maybe some kind of, I don't know, slavery, kidnapping, rape, whatever? And then two, here's a woman who has two young girls that is in a very wild part of the country and needs to find a way to survive. So what she does is she travels down to someplace in Nebraska where she meets another man, a white man, who she marries. So she's obviously not unmarried to my great-great-grandfather, but she now marries this other man. He begins to molest the two daughters. These two daughters, I'm sure because of some of the molestation, end up in a whorehouse where they become pregnant. Here's another question. Are they pregnant because he molested them? Are they pregnant because of the results of their actions inside the house of prostitution? I don't know. What happens is that one of one of her children has three kids, and those three kids end up in an orphanage. So one is my grandfather, and then my two great aunts. So this woman rescues those three kids from that orphanage. And then she's chased across county lines, running from, at the time, whatever that social work group would be, in order to keep those kids out of the orphanage. I don't know her first name. I think she's probably one of the bravest women that I know. And yet I don't know much about her. And in fact, was denied knowing much about her really my whole life. So the story is I can remember arguing with my grandmother at age 7 about the differences between African American and white, and my grandmother using the N-word, and me at 7 arguing with her, "Grandma, there's no difference between us. It's just a matter of more melanin in skin." And this is at 7. Where did that come from in regards to me? Because most of my extended family could be classified as racist, not my immediate, my extended family. So where does that come from in me? The other thing that happens is at 21, I go out and visit my grandmother, my uncle, and aunt, all racist. They show me this picture of her. I'm 21. And I said, "Oh my God, she is beautiful. She's black." They grabbed the picture from my hand and they said, "No, no, 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 no. She's dark Jewish." And I'm thinking, what's dark Jewish? I've never heard that term. I never see the picture again. Nobody in the family sees the picture again until my aunt dies and my grandmother dies. And then my uncle, who's still around, has a box full of pictures, and 30 years later, so now I'm 52, 53, and I find this picture of this woman, and I start to hear the backstory of who she is. This is part of my heritage, and I'm proud of it. And I do not understand why the other part of my family is not. Is it just because of the color of the skin? And we are denying a limb on a body. We're denying beautiful parts of ourselves. So that's the story. I think what I'm having to do is have a little discussion around that and talk about this story and how it pertains to maybe your life and what you've seen or done in regards to our family and our culture.